There's the shotgun snap to Fields. He's back. Fields looking. Fields pressured. Fields hit from behind. He's going down. No, he stayed up. Fields, no, he's going down. Get him down. Get him down. Sacked.
That's still one of my favorite calls of the season from Dan Miller. But, PJ, something tells me there were a few pretty sweet calls from this game. I can't wait for the tweets of the Dan Miller touchdown calls in this game because, thanks for joining the Twentyman, the Huddle podcast, post-game edition here with PJ Clark. And
if you join on Thursday, I'll give you a new intro.
We get a new intro?
I'll commit to that.
Are we doing something from this game?
Are we
going to get a deep shot?
I'll find one.
All right.
I'll commit to that.
We're getting a new intro for the game, and I'm sure there's going to be some good ones.
If you listen and you want to comment or tweet
then
tell me what to do,
I like it.
I'll do it.
But we're here at Ford Field, and, Peach, we're here after another Lions win.
Another Lions win.
Fifth in their last six. And this one, a big one against a 10-2 Minnesota Vikings team that was looking to win the NFC North. And look, they came here and got punched in the mouth a little bit.
Yep.
The Lions were able to do pretty much what they wanted offensively, 134 rushing yards, 4.5 average. Goff, terrific again, 330 passing yards, 27 of 39 for 3 more touchdowns. Didn't turn the ball over. 5th straight game he hasn't turned the ball over. And, boy, he's playing some really good football right now. Let's listen to what Dan Campbell thought of the performance of his quarterback and just how his quarterback is playing, because Jared Goff said this week he thinks he's playing the best football of his career. His head coach ain't going to argue with that.
Nope, can't argue with that. I mean, he is. He's playing outstanding, and he's a direct link as to why we are playing better. He's playing really good football, and he's taking care of the football. He's making big throws, man. He's been highly accurate, and just, man, there's a lot of faith in him, and he's got a lot of faith in us. And so, man, I thought he had another hell of a day. He stepped in there, and I'm telling you what, he's cool, he's calm, he's collected, he's making these throws, and the O-line is blocking well. They're protecting the heck out of him. So I don't disagree. It was good to see, man.
And you know what else was good to see, and Pete, you can chime in on this too, but this is the Lions offense that is ranked in the top 10 in every single category going into this football game. But when you look at them, what do you think of first, right? You think of like kind of this tough run-first type team. It's been that way all season. A good third down team, a good red zone team, Amon-Ra St. Brown in the slot, that security blanket. But one of the things that I think has been missing maybe just a little bit is that deep ball, those shots. DJ Chark was that guy who they signed this offseason. He missed 6 games with the ankle injury, and since he's been back, and now since Jameson Williams has kind of gotten back into the mix the last 2 weeks, that big play potential is back in this offense. And when you've got an offensive line as good as Detroit's is, when you've got a slot receiver as good as Amon-Ra St. Brown is, when you got a couple backs that are pretty steady, and now you add DJ Chark, who had a 48-yard touchdown in a one-play drive bomb, Jameson Williams, his first catch of his NFL career, a 41-yard touchdown, a little bit of a busted coverage, but you saw the speed, you saw the vertical get with him. Boy, if that's an element of this offense now consistently, along with everything else, it's going to be a tough team to stop the last 4 weeks of the season.
I think you're seeing that kind of evolve throughout the season. Ben Johnson is, I think, more comfortable calling those now, whereas a lot of the early season was predicated on the run game and a variety of different forms of that end around or whatever you're running in between the tackles with Jamal mostly at that point. But now everyone's back. The gang is back together, and you can start to open this thing up. And against a secondary like Minnesota's, they certainly did not miss an opportunity to do that.
By opening up, you mean throwing to your right tackle in a critical situation for a 9-yard gain on 3rd and 7? Is that what you're talking about too?
Yeah. I mean, you may as well at that point.
I mean, it's funny. I tweeted this out, but after that, it's 3rd and 7, right? You need a first down to really ice the game. I mean, a critical moment. And Ben Johnson had set this play up before,
it was just
was it a series? Was it a series before, or was it the same?
I think it was that drive. I think it was first down on that series.
So they put Penei Sewell out in kind of like the slot area, and they motion him across the formation, and he becomes a lead blocker for run play. And I remember sitting there after watching that play, and I'm like, ooh, that sets it up for if they ever want to throw to him.
58 reporting is eligible. I feel like everybody's ears perked
up a little bit.
That's usually Matt Nelson. That's usually Dan Skipper. That is not Penei Sewell.
And they're an extra tackle on the line of scrimmage.
Which the Lions do a lot. Lions do it more than any other team in the
NFL. Right, yeah, good observation by you. So, you're used to it if you're a defense. But you've got to make sure that you're seeing where that is, that it's not out in the slot. Yeah. And then just to call that play by Ben Johnson. It took some cojones.
That's a winning call.
You throw to your right tackle. Now, I will say this. Penei is super athletic.
My God.
Every Friday we get to watch practice, and it is so super fun because they let the big guys, so they do the go routes, just to kind of get the arms warmed up for the quarterbacks, get the receivers kind of running a little bit, and they do it with the offensive linemen do it, and it's hilarious. Some guys are brutal. Some guys, like Penei Sewell, is really, really good. I mean, he'll catch a ball and do a little juke move afterward, like a 40-yard catch.
You saw the run after catch ability today.
He's pretty athletic. And look, this is what Jared Goff had to say just about that play's formation, Penei Sewell, the athlete, and how that was such a critical moment, why they trust him.
Yeah, it's been a while. I don't know if we've had one this year. Do it in practice quite a bit. It doesn't often get called. I think that was kind of the perfect scenario for it. And we wanted to run those plays kind of close to the goal line for touchdowns, but the scenario came up, which is going to be similar, where they're going to load the box, and he got wide open. It was pretty good. No different than any other play, to be honest with you. I think making sure Penei knew the situation, not to run out of bounds, just go down once you get the first down. That's all we talked about. But it was alike any other play we had. It was good. Yeah. We joked last week that we've won every game that they've caught balls on Fridays because we didn't do it the Thursday game. We didn't have time. Yeah. So. We've joked about that, but we'll continue to do that, and Penei's got pretty good hands.
Yeah, continue to do that, please.
Why not? I just looked it up. So Penei Sewell had it counted as a rushing attempt because it was behind the line of scrimmage, but in 2019, his last year in college, he caught one pass from Justin Herbert.
Really?
For 1 yard.
Oh, today's was a rush, actually?
No, the one in college.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I was like, wait, what?
So it's happened before.
It's happened before.
It's on tape.
He's athletic. Well, it's funny because Dan Campbell joked after the game. He's like, Penei is so athletic. If he lost weight and was like a tight end, he could potentially be a Hall of Fame.
I'd buy it.
I buy it.
I buy it.
That guy is so athletic.
How could you not buy it? I mean, he's 1 for 1 on amazing.
And just this offensive line in particular, I mean, they've just been so good. I mean, Jared Goff, 0 sacks. He was hit 3 times today. They plowed the way for a 4.5 rushing average and 134 yards. I mean, they are able to do everything offensively because of how good that offensive line is. I mean, they have legit 4 Pro Bowl caliber players up front. I don't think there's another team in the NFL that can say that.
No, and that makes everything easier. You can take these downfield shots and let J-Mo find a busted coverage like that when you don't have to worry about being touched. And that all starts from the offensive line. And I think today was maybe the best example all year, honestly. I think it might have been the best game the unit has played. Yeah,
and we got to talk about this defense a little bit too.
Sure.
Obviously, you look at some of the statistics, and Kirk Cousins, 31 of 41 for 425 yards, and you're like, oh boy, there were some struggles there. But you've got to remember that Minnesota completely ditched their run game because they had 22 yards on 17 attempts, a 1.3 average, Peach. I mean, they completely shut Dalvin Cook out and made him really have to be one-dimensional.
And he allegedly tried to throw the ball too. So they even tried to add a second dimension to Dalvin Cook, which did not work. But the run defense, I mean, credit to Bugs, credit to Aleem McNeil, credit to Kaminsky, all those big guys in the middle. Hutchinson had a tackle for loss early on a rush. I think that was the first play of the game for Minnesota. I mean, set the tone. Again, much like last week that the first defensive drive, the second play of the game was a fumble. The first defensive drive today, I think, also really kind of just hammered it home that the run game was not going anywhere. And, 425 yards is not ideal. But if you win the game, whatever, it's on the next week.
And that's Justin Jefferson, too, who's so hard. 15 targets, 11 receptions, 223 yards. He was really, really good. The Lions did keep him out of the end zone, but And, still, even with that, I thought they had control of the game, pretty much all the way through. I mean, they had to make a play offensively there at the end, but that 4-minute offense, they get the ball with 10 minutes left, and they just run it down to, 4
That was
minutes.
a dream drive.
Dream drive. Dan Campbell had to just be smiling ear to ear. That was a Dan Campbell drive.
That was a Dan Campbell drive.
Grind it out, get first downs, run the clock, and then, you get your tackle involved, you get a critical first down, and then you kick the field goal and just melt it away. I mean, what a terrific.
And even something that has come up multiple times this year. I think you ran the time management. The clock was perfect there, taking those timeouts and running all the way down to 0, taking the timeout, running another play, running that all the way down to 0, and then taking the timeout before he kicked the field goal. I mean, you gave him the ball back with 17 seconds left. You played that absolutely perfectly.
Yeah, and 2 critical, I thought, plays in this game. There were a lot of them. Obviously, you talk about the big plays and the touchdowns, but right before the half, the Minnesota Vikings had a chance to double dip. They were going to get the second half kickoff. They were marching down. They were at the 4-yard line, I believe. And then, they handed off to Dalvin Cook. Bugs, slices through the line of scrimmage, jars the ball loose, fumble. Kirby Joseph just has a nose for the football.
Magnet.
He knows where it is, picks it up. Now the Lions go down and miss a field goal, missed an opportunity there, but preventing that touchdown, and then Minnesota comes and goes 3 and out to start the second half. To me, that was such a key series there, and then obviously the fake punt. Deep in their territory to call that and get a 40-some yard gain on it. Again, a pretty gutsy call, but when they get that look, Dave Phipp, the special teams coordinator, is not afraid. As soon as he sees it on film and he sees the look, I'm sure he's in Dan's ear, and you know how aggressive Dan is. Yep. If Dan trusts Dave, they spend a ton of time on special teams, and I've talked to Dave Phipp about this too, and he is so appreciative of Dan Campbell and the time that he spends in practice to special teams. In training camp, you see it a ton. They'll have 3-4 special teams periods during a practice time. And so, look, they think it's important. They got a big, a punt return, the fake punt. I mean, all 3 phases.
Even Jack's first punt today, 66.
Yeah, 66 yards backed up. It's just, this was a total team win. And now, Peach, we got to talk about the excitement that's brewing here in Detroit.
Yeah, it's hard because it's real. Excited.
I mean, 66,300 and some fans today. A standing room only sellout. It was loud. It was ruckus. It was a total advantage for the Lions on defense. And, now they've won 5 of their last 6. They're 6-7 and very much in the playoff picture. And
in the graphic is not even a bit anymore.
No, they're in the picture.
The graphic is becoming shorter and shorter, and the Lions are still on it.
Yeah, and it's fun. It's meaningful football in December. And this is what Dan Campbell talked about when he interviewed for this job after the 2020 season, and he wanted this job so bad. It's for this moment right here. It's to bring winning football in the month of December back to Detroit.
Yeah, look, it was one of the reasons why I wanted to be here. I said that in my opening press conference. Anybody that read that or saw that, it was one of the reasons I want to be here because I knew this could be a special place, man. This is one of those areas where you get a winner here in Detroit, and it'll be something special. And it's not like that everywhere. It's not. And so to get this place back on its feet, man, play winning football, something that hadn't been done here in whatever that is, 20-something years. Or over, and it is, but we're not there yet. We're not there. We're playing pretty good football, and we just won another one, and now, man, yeah, it feels good. Let's go get the next one. That's all we can worry about.
Yeah, they're playing darn good football right now. It really, in all 3 phases, the confidence is through the roof. When you're in the locker room, when you're talking to these guys, I mean, they're playing so well right now, they just assume they're going to win. I mean, obviously they have to put in the work, and they do, but there's a confidence level with them that they think they can play with anybody in this league and beat anybody in this league.
And that goes back, even we saw it on Hard Knocks with Aaron Glenn giving that speech, and he was talking to Jonah, who lost 1 game at Ohio State his senior year, and it's you woke up on every Saturday expecting to win the game, and it's time to get that feeling back. And I think that feeling is back in the locker room right now.
And it's back around Detroit too. Just seeing the crowd here, hearing people talk, the excitement level. If you listen to sports radio, I mean, it's just fun. Dan's right. This is a football town. And if this team can be a consistent winner in December, like we saw probably back in the 90s, I mean, there were a few seasons, 11, 14, 2006 there, but it was pretty scattered. I think you got to go back to the 90s when it was really consistently every year they were playing really meaningful football in December and going to the playoffs. And if that can be a thing again, it would be fun. It would be fun to live here. It would be really, really fun. And you just love the progress that you see with Dan Campbell, how he envisioned this football team, how he and Brad Holmes wanted to build it. You're seeing it now on Sunday, and that's really refreshing.
And, I mean, nobody wants to talk about it when you're playing this well in season, but you have all this ammo this offseason, too, that you can just add more pieces on top of already an up-and-coming team with the roster you currently have. 2 more first-round picks in here, 2 more second-round picks in here. I mean,
cap room.
You're cooking.
You're cooking. It's fun. And it's going to be fun in Allen Park this week. Now, obviously, up next is the New York Jets. They've been reeling a little bit. I think, they're 7-6 now?
7-6, 2 straight losses.
So
this is a desperation game for both teams. I mean, season's on the line.
I
would rather be the team that has won 5 of 6 than the team that has lost 2 straight.
So now you're going on the road. There's going to be weather probably.
Yep.
It's going to be cold. That's a tough football team, the Jets. I know they've lost a few. They've got some stuff they're dealing with at quarterback, but not an easy place to play, not an easy team. I think defensively they're still a pretty darn good football team. So, look, can the Lions keep it rolling? Winners of 5 of their last 6. They beat Minnesota 34-23, prevent Minnesota from winning the NFC North. It's fun, Peach, and it'll be fun in Allen Park this week. We'll have another 20-minute huddle, obviously, on Thursday night. We'll see what kind of players we can get to join us.
Alex led the team in tackles today, for those of you following the podcast.
The podcast bump.
Big pass deflection in the red zone and led the team in tackles.
And before that, it was Houston, who's
another
now recorded another sack.
I mean, the guy's unbelievable.
So who really needs to be on the pod
and
have a huge week?
Yeah.
Well, we'll figure it out.
We'll find somebody.
We'll figure it out, and odds are they're going to have a pretty good week in New York. We'll be breaking it down from Allen Park all week long. Again, we'll have the podcast on Wednesday, and then me and Peach will be right back here next Sunday night. We won't be here, but we'll be doing the podcast next Sunday night, and hopefully it's another Detroit win that'll make the final 3 games really fun with a 500 record. So stay with us all week. This is the 20-Minute Huddle podcast presented by Microsoft. Thank you, guys.